What's up, resellers? I'm Rebecca, and you're watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today for yet another wonderful Poshmark closet review. I'm so excited to be sharing another Poshmark closet with Poshmark closet review with you. This one is for Gina. She requested a Poshmark closet review. I have her summary right here. I'm going to be going through the closet with you guys and giving her some tips. If you are interested in getting your own Poshmark closet review, you can go to my Etsy store and purchase one. You'd be looking for the custom Poshmark closet review. I also have a DIY version available, which is like a self-guided one where you print out the worksheet and you print out the workbook. You basically go through it and it's like I'm walking you through the steps of doing one, except you don't actually have me live. So just a thought if you're interested. But etsy.com/shop/Rebecca the Reseller, that's where you can get your Poshmark closet review. Otherwise, if you are interested in your Poshmark strategies checklist, which is free, go ahead to the description down below and sign up for my email list and you will get that there. You can also subscribe to the channel and go ahead and show me some love and like this video. Now that I got all of that out of the way. Hey Gina, thanks so much for purchasing a closet review. I'm excited to share all this information with you. I've put some things together. So let me go ahead and get myself over here and let's go ahead and jump in. So first up, you started your name with the exclamation point. That's great. It does bring you up higher in the search results. So if people are following to get followers, they may have a chance to follow you first. It's just something that can kind of set you up to get more followers. I don't really think it's anything, amazingly helpful, but I do recommend it because it's something you can do once and then reap the benefits over and over again. Also, if you put more exclamation points, it will bring you up even higher. So that's just something to think about. Your banner has some Louis Vuitton shoes, so that's lovely. Again, all pictures that aren't bad are okay. So as long as you don't have a bad picture in there for your banner area, it's perfectly fine. Your avatar is great. It's a nice picture of you, so it lets people know that they're doing business with a person. You have a nice smile. You look very pleasant. So that's a great thing for you and your closet. Also in the banner area, there's an information line. And so you must have watched some of my Poshmark closet reviews. I think you said you did, because there's some of the things that I include. So you do have your 4.9 star rating, which is great. You also have ship daily, and then you have 460 plus items sold. And those are some of the things that I recommend. I've actually never thought to say like 4.9 or 5-star or anything like that. I've never really thought about that. I'm not sure how I feel about the 4.9 stars, if I'm being completely honest. And this is just like, hold on, let me turn this off so I don't forget. So it's like a personal preference, I guess. But to me, if you're saying 4.9, you're also saying not 5. And to me, as a perfectionist, when I read 4.9, I read not 5. So, that's neither here nor there. I would not put 4.9 stars in my info line. You totally can. It's completely up to you. I just don't think I would put it. I'm trying to think what the other thing is that I normally recommend for that area, because you're throwing me off because you have it. Number of items sold, ship same next day. Oh, and maybe, professional seller or something like that. But otherwise, I think utilizing that information area line to explain some of this information to the buyer that would give them confidence in you as a seller and make them think that they're going to have a good buying experience, that's all good. And then you don't have anything for a link, that's fine. If you have nothing to link it to, don't put it. It's totally fine to be blank. All-time number of listings, you're at 960 listings. So I think that's great. You're almost at 1,000. I think though that you should stretch yourself and kind of set up the milestone for 1,500 or even 2,000 as something to look forward to. Are you going to hit it before the end of the year? When are you going to hit it? Just have something to kind of reach for and motivate you. I love having goals and milestones. And when you get there, make sure you take stock and celebrate it, because I love celebrating the little wins as well. And so getting up to 1,000 listings on Poshmark, that's major. That's great. So just a note on listings. I don't know what your listing or what your sales goal is. I don't know what your listing goal is, but my recommendation for you and for everyone is that if you are ever not making the sales that you want to, you can always list more. Now, obviously, we're pressed for time and finding things and all of that, but as a very general kind of blanket statement, if you do more listings, chances are your sales will go up. every listing you have every day is a chance to sell. And so if you have 300 listings live, you have 300 chances to sell. But if you have 500 listings live, you'll have 500 chances to sell. And every time you add more, it's more opportunities for you each and every day. So I try not to get it to where it's too big of a thing or it makes you get crazy. You know, you can burn yourself out, and I don't want you to do that. But if you're listing 3 a day, try to list 5 a day. If you're listing 10 a day, list 12 a day. If you're listing 1 a day, list 3 a day. Like, you can just push yourself a little bit more, and then those benefits will start stacking up and you'll start realizing them. So let's see, for shares, you're at 27,000 community shares. So I'm not quite sure, given that you've been on for a little while, but you know, I'm not sure if you're actively community sharing right now, or that was just from the past and you've chosen now to stop, but it's not something that I recommend to help you build your business. I don't think community sharing has as big of a bang for your buck as far as sales generating activities go. I think there are a lot more direct options for you. And so sharing your own items, revising, relisting, listing, sending offers, making bundles, and running a sale, or concentrating on sourcing more inventory. Those are all things that you can do ahead of community sharing. And if you ever just want to be nice and put some posh love out there, I have no problem with it. But I don't want people to be mindlessly sharing other people's closets with the hopes that it's going to bring sales to them, because I don't think that that's the case. And the same thing goes for the next section, which is followers to following. So you're at 101,000 followers. That's awesome. And you're following about 104,000 people. So again, I can't tell if you were following people to get followers, if those 101,000 followers just have come to you and you haven't actively done anything to do it. Although if you're following 104,000 people, chances are you've done some of that. And that's okay too. Again, I don't want to make following part of your daily routine thinking that that's going to generate you sales. It's not. But I do think that having more followers can only help. And I have a lot of boutique items that are inexpensive in my closet. And so I feel like when I share, I do get those impulse purchases where it just happens to catch someone at the right time and they just happen to see this pretty necklace and they just snag it. So I do think in certain instances, followers and having a following and having more followers can be helpful, but I don't think that's the case directly or all the time. So if you're just kind of hanging around, I like to follow people when I'm in the car and my husband's driving, if I'm not doing something else, or, you know, if we're on vacation, I'm just kind of mindlessly sitting there, have nothing else that I can actually do. So I'll just follow some new closets. I think that's the biggest bang for your buck, is following new closets if you're ever going to spend the time doing any of that. And I do have a video linked for you for all the ways you can get more followers if that's something you're interested in. Last active. So I do want to check this because when I did the summary, it was earlier in the day and you were also last active this hour. So that's great. So that shows me as a person on purpose looking at your closet that you are actively in the app. So that's great, because if I'm a buyer and I'm thinking about sending you an offer and I really need this item, I don't want to mess around and I don't want to wait for you to get back to me 3 days later or never. So me as a buyer, I always go to the last active section to find out when this person was on. So I know if they're active or not, because that makes a difference. And then I also noticed in here, your love notes, you know, were great. You've got a lot of great love notes, so that's awesome. And let's see, average ship time is great. You are at 1 day average ship time, so that's good. Nice job at getting your packages out quickly. That's important for buyers to see. And that's one of, like, these metrics right here are really important for buyers to see, because it's not you telling them. Like in the info line, you're saying, I've sold 460 packages. I ship daily. I have a 4.9 stars. But as a buyer, I don't know any of that. I can't verify any of that. The only thing I could maybe verify is that you have a lot of solds. So I can see that. But average ship time, now Poshmark is telling me, yep, she does ship daily. She ships within 1 day. Yes, she is active. She was last active this hour. Yes, she's been on since April of 2014. By the way, happy Poshversary to you. It's April. So you've been on Poshmark. What year is it? 2021. So 7 years you've been on Poshmark. That's amazing. So happy Poshversary to you, Gina. So let's go back to your closet and talk about one of my favorite things, which is Poshmark closet signs. Oh, how I love talking about it. Oh, you might be sharing right now because I think these are different things than I saw before. Okay, so I didn't see any closet signs. I scrolled through from top to bottom, your entire closet, and I didn't see any closet signs. So this is something I always recommend for everyone to have at least one closet sign at the beginning of your closet that's always in this very first area where this Pissarro night sequin embellished evening whatever dress is. There should be something that says, welcome to my closet. Hi, I'm Gina. Bookmark this listing to come back to my closet. Favorite this listing to find me again. I ship same next day. You know, all of these things I have, and I link it in here so you can see it, but I have a closet sign and it goes up at the top. I mean, it's not always there sometimes if I'm doing different things, but it's there to welcome people to my closet. Should they happen to actually go into your actual closet, because sometimes people just buy the item that they searched for and clicked on, don't actually visit your whole closet. But should they enter your closet, I look at it as they just walked in through the front door of your business. Are you there to welcome them? And that's what I think the closet sign is. And one of my biggest pet peeves of all time is to walk into a place of business and not be greeted by not one person that's working there. It's so infuriating. It's like my biggest thing. So I really feel strongly about having a welcome sign or a bookmark closet sign. Something is sticky over here on my desk. That's not good. And if you do that, if you don't want it to actually be like a bookmark sign, then what you could do is an offers welcome sign if you feel open and welcome to offers. I just did, little plug, a video on offers and lowballing and offer charts and reasonable offers and all of that. So I just did a whole video about offers if anyone is interested. But if you are open to offers, you can also make a sign that says that. And then instead of having multiple signs, you could have that be your welcome sign and just have it be pleasant and welcoming and let people know that you're open to offers. So anyway, now some people do get into lots of other signs. You know, I have signs for promotions. I have signs for sales. I have a sign to let people know I have a YouTube channel. I have, you know, signs when I'm running different kinds of promotions that are for a limited time. So you can do all kinds of things. There are people that even separate their closet out. I don't recommend that, but I know that people do that. And so I have made several designs for closet signs if you are not, you know, really tech savvy, don't want to necessarily make or know how to make your own. I do have those also available. Again, let me put this up in the Etsy shop. Sorry, I'm still figuring out these buttons, and I'm very excited by the ability to have these buttons here. So pardon me for being excited. I just think it's so cool. So yes. Okay, now let's talk about the actual items. So for product mix, brands, sizes, item types, styles, I'm going to read this because I wrote it this morning. I don't want to leave anything out. So you have lots of listings, which is great, but also possibly harmful. And here's why. You have some very nice things, but overwhelmingly, I am underwhelmed by your closet. It reminds me of my closet a while back. Nothing wrong with that, but what you have, you know, sometimes there's nothing exceptional. So there's nothing wrong with what you have, but there's nothing exceptional about it either. There's not things that people are highly searching, highly sought after, are going to be flying off your shelves. It's just basic stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it looked like my closet a while ago before I really started to pay attention to how I sourced and what I was putting in my closet. So let's talk about that. I think you have a lot of items that may never sell, or you might have to give them away because they're basic. You should really try to focus on in-demand, substantial, higher-end items that are inherently worth more and therefore are worth trying to sell for a profit and doing all the work. Consider focusing on a wider variety of item types and sizes as well. I saw a lot of tops and a lot of smaller sizes. So let's go ahead and kind of go through. Now, this David's, I don't know if this is newly listed or you just shared them and I didn't realize them before, but like formal dress, that's more of a substantial item that somebody's going to be looking for. They might want a strapless purple lace dress, and therefore your David's bridal dress will pop up and it's worth your time and money because you have it up for $50. But like the Sea Wonder yellow lace sleeveless shift dress, I mean, sure, someone might be looking for that, but I don't think it's anything over the top to be doing for, 20 bucks and after you send an offer and this and that. Now, that's my perspective. People sell, all kinds of items at all kinds of price points. So you are asking for my opinion when I give it for a closet review, so I'm giving it, but you choose to do and follow what you'd like. Hot Mondi sparkle dress new with tags. I mean, those dresses are not very expensive to begin with. I can't imagine that you're going to get $30 for that. I mean, I've seen them at, like a TJ Maxx or something like that, very inexpensive. So, not to burst your bubble, but I'm just saying you need to have things that are more substantial. Either it's a higher end brand or there's something else about the item that is highly sought after, like it's cashmere or silk, or it's linen because it's summertime right now, or it's a swimsuit. Someone needs a new swimsuit. So things like that. You have a lot of, your basic brands, Forever 21, White House Black Market, etc., American Eagle. So it's a lot of basic things, and it's not to say that you can't sell those. You certainly can, but I think some things are going to take a long time to sell, or you're going to need so many of them and only a portion are going to sell. Like I said, my closet used to look exactly like this, and it was only recently that I've decided to really focus in on things that are worth on the resale market $35 and higher, so that maybe then you end up with a $25 sale perhaps. Now that's more worth my time and effort. But before, I would sell any random Nike tank top, any random, Under Armour, and there's a lot of that. And so if you're trying to be a professional seller that is looking to make profit out of this, I think it gets harder and harder to spend all your time and effort on a lot of lower end items versus less higher end items. And if the problem is trying to find those higher end items, now you need to get creative. Do you need to source online? Do you need to get things from a place like a Jomar Wholesale? I'm now an affiliate, so I'm ordering more from them. I have my discount code for 10% off down below if anybody's interested. You can find more branded things from a place like that, things that maybe you can't find at your local thrift store. You can buy reseller boxes. I have a Better Brands reseller box. You don't have to buy mine, but I'm just making an example. I sell Better Brands because I know that I have a connection where I'm able to get Cashmere and Vince and, all the Revolve brands and, all these kinds of things that are highly sought after, and Adriana Goldschmied and new White House Black Market and Babaton and Aritzia and whatever I have on here right now, Citizens of Humanity denim skirt, things that are of more of a substantial nature and are trendier brands and inherently have a higher value in them. The other thing is, if you're not going to do that kind of stuff, just focus on the areas of the thrift store that will have items of inherent value, like jackets, sweaters, swimsuits, dresses over a top or an activewear. Obviously activewear can do well, but you have a lot of more common activewear versus a higher end, highly sought after activewear. So it was a big ramble, but I haven't really, I feel like, talked about that in a while with some people. And I just, like I said, your closet just really reminded me of mine because there's just a lot of perfectly fine stuff, but none of it that's amazing, that's going to really make you the money that you're probably wanting to make. So I just say that because I feel like you're going to have to do a lot of work to make the kind of money that you might be wanting. So think about that a little bit. I put in here some tips for building your brand knowledge, which are some things that I say all the time: watching haul videos, watching what sold videos, checking solds on Poshmark to get new brands on your radar, focusing on higher end brands that can sell for $50. You're not going to get them all the time, but if you can put a new focus on that, that will help. And then trying to focus on the substantial items, like I mentioned: shoes, jackets, sweaters, dresses, swimwear, or just higher end brands overall, because that will help with your ASP. I didn't notice any prohibited items. Now, as far as your photos go, So this is great news because overall I thought your cover photos looked great. And this is an example because people always hear me say white background, white background. You don't have a white background, but they look perfectly bright and perfectly fine. So it might be a white wall, but it's coming off white, or it might be an off-white wall. But I think that most of your cover photos look really great. I think the items could be slightly brighter, whether you have daylight lights or you use a photo editor. I think there's a few that are darker more than others, but in general, I felt really good about your cover photos. And for the most part, you're hanging them nicely. Everything looks presented well. Everything looks like you're taking care of it. There were a few items that looked like they could use a steam, and you might get more money that way, especially if you have some of the higher end, better pieces that you do have. I would give those a steam if they look a little bit wrinkled. Why? I don't know why. There we go. It's loading more. I was like, where's the rest of your stuff? The flat lays look good. So in general, I felt like overall, that was good. Here's where this was what was on top before. It was just, White Stag. I'm sure it does sell, but that's not a brand that I would be putting in my closet anymore. It's a brand I used to put in my closet along with Liz Claiborne and Coldwater Creek and maybe Gloria Vanderbilt and that type of thing. I'm not putting those things in my closet anymore. So, you don't want to be weighed down and constantly sharing items that you're not going to get that much for. You may just want to cut your losses on some of them and kind of set some parameters for yourself. Like you have a lot of H&M and Forever 21. Like I don't put that in my closet. It won't ever be in my closet anymore. It's something I did in the beginning, but I will never have that in my closet. So I wouldn't pick it up and I wouldn't spend the time to list it and take photographs of it. I just wouldn't. No Old Navy, things like that. So if you're not there yet and you're reselling and you still want to sell these brands, that's fine. But I do think that sometimes we hold on to certain things because it's what we know or it's what's easy, but it's not what's going to push us forward. So just my thoughts on that. I said the steaming, I said the lighting, and the fact that even though it's not a white background, it still looks pretty good. So I think you're fine on your photos. I do think that you could be taking more photos. And actually I wrote photo line here because there's a line that I usually include and I need to go find it and put it in here. But so you do need to be taking more photos. Now I wonder, like this one, it's just a basic, top. This one isn't as presented well as it could be. It could be a little straighter, but there's only 3 pictures, a front, a back, and a tag. Now, granted, you're only asking $10 for it, but this is one of those things where I would say, why bother? Why bother taking those photos, storing it, listing it? Like, why? I would love to know, in 6 months if you still have this, because I just don't think it's worth it. Now, let's see, the soft surroundings, let's see. So here you have 4 photos, but like, I usually take the same amount of photos basically for almost every item. I take, the whole front, the top front, the bottom front, the neckline, the tags, any details with the sleeve. I would take, you took a detail of the pocket there, so that's good. I would maybe put my hand in it, so that way it's just not kind of so like, bleh. But here you have that it's large, but I don't know what do you have it here? Nope, I have no idea what the fabric is or what the care tag, I have no idea. Can I wash this? Is it dry clean? Is this jersey, is this a cotton blend? What is this? I have no idea. So that's the kind of information that you should put in there, because if you're going to deal with this and you're going to do this much work, you should complete it so that you give it every chance to sell. By just putting it up this way, me as a potential buyer, I don't know enough about this to make a good buying decision. That's a problem for me. So I think you can include a little bit more photos, but the photos you're taking are fine, just more of them. Pricing, I thought overall your pricing seemed pretty on point. There were a few things that were like a little too high or a little too low, but nothing major where I'm like, oh my gosh, you're completely out of whack. So I felt like your pricing was good. I thought your titles overall were good. I think there are a few that could use some additional keywords if you really sat and kind of thought through it. So like, on the American Dream, you have scoop neck, long sleeve. That's great, but I don't think you told me what it's made out of, things like that. this one, the striped cardigan. Let's just see here. It's a cardigan set. But so you don't tell me that it's like an open front sweater, you know, or an open front cardigan. Is it hooded? No. So, I mean, you can add some more keywords here on this one, even though it is a set. So just there's some more keywords that you can do, whether they go in the title or they go in the description. They're both searchable, and it's in your best interest, especially when you have items like that are basic or oversaturated. You want to load that item with every possible chance for it to get found in search. And the way you do that is through keywords. And so obviously don't keyword stuff with words that don't make sense for that item, but anything you can tell about the item, anything you can add in there that someone might be searching for to get your item included in that search is what you want to do. You want to give it every chance to sell. So titles were good, keywords. You want to know more about keywords? I do have a keywords that sell video, and then I have a keywords guide available. Again, let's do it. Where is it? In the Etsy shop. Yay! Sorry, getting a kick out of it. So for description, length, format, condition, measurements, buyer confidence information, a couple things here. So let's go back to like soft surrounding. Make sure from item to item that you address all the opportunities for keywords, and then I give you a list in here. It's a big long list, so I don't like to say it in every single video. I say it in some of them. Length, neckline, sleeve, style. There's all of these different things that you can be including to add keywords. Check out my listing template video for specific tips on creating a listing template for yourself, because I did think that this is a little light. Like, I think you have some basic information. I can tell that you're trying, but it's not giving me enough information. Whereas a potential buyer, I feel like I can immediately just buy this top. I feel like I would have questions to ask you. And so my big saying that I say all the time is give them every reason to buy and no reasons not to buy. So by your description here being a little choppy, not enough information, not hitting out on all the cylinders that I recommend, that I do, I think you're leaving it on the table for somebody to say, oh, I'll just go on to the next one. She didn't give me the measurements, or she doesn't tell me about this, or I don't know what great condition means, or things like that, to where they could easily pass you by because you're not answering their questions right up front. So some of these things, Poshmark has said that multiple line breaks are no good for SEO. So I would make it more sentences with commas. It doesn't have to be complete sentences, because Lord knows my listings are not complete sentences. They're basically run-on sentences, but it's basically, you know, something to get them excited about the item, and then a bunch of keywords with commas so that I can hit on all those search terms. I don't know what I got over here that is so sticky. I don't know what that is. And then something at the end that's kind of maybe a catchy salesy phrase just to kind of entice them in. I put that measurements are in photos. I put excellent condition with no flaws. And then I have my buyer confidence line at the end that now tells them that the item has free shipping, because that's something that I'm offering, as well as that they can bundle and save, that I ship same next day, that I'm a professional seller, all of that kind of stuff. So I think you need to include measurements in your listings. I didn't see measurements on any of the listings that I checked into. I didn't drill into every single one of your listings, but for a lot of the tops, at least, I didn't see any measurements. I think measurements are important. Maybe someday I'll change my mind on that, but I'm not ready to yet. I think that you have an okay amount of keywords, but you can add more keywords. I think it should be more of a sentence/paragraph format. I think that you need a buyer confidence line that says similar things to what you put in your banner, which would be ship same next day, offers welcome, professional seller, whatever you want to put in there. You can check some of my listings if you want to see, you know, what my example is. And then I think the way that you do your condition, it says great pre-owned condition. Well, I will tell you, I've recently purchased some things on Poshmark that were described in, one was in great condition, one said it was excellent condition, and I've recently had to send back 2 things because it was terribly flawed. And so I have a real issue when someone says great condition or excellent condition with no additional information to clarify that, or don't have the photos to really support their claim of it being excellent or great. So I think the line that I use that I've come up with, I don't even know that mine's that great, but it's the best thing I've come up with so far, is excellent condition with no flaws. So if there is a flaw, then I can say overall in excellent condition with minor discoloration around the armpit, or whatever the flaw is, I will explain it. But otherwise, I am saying there are no flaws here. And that gives the buyer and me peace of mind in that I'm saying that there's no flaws. They're buying it thinking there's no flaws. So if there is a flaw, then they can come back to me and say, you missed this flaw. And then probably Poshmark will approve their case and they'll get a return, and I don't mind if I do get a return, especially if it was my fault. So I think that it gives the buyer a little bit of recourse for them to say, well, she said it has no flaws. So if I get it and it's not, with no flaws, then I'm going to do a return. And at least they feel a little bit better about the situation. I don't know. That's how I would feel. So anyway, I think if you can really work on your description, you're on the right track. It's not terrible. I just think you need to add some more things and make it work overall together. If you go onto a website, like a retail store website, see how they do their descriptions. I will tell you, White House Black Market does a great job with their descriptions. There's a nice little paragraph, there's some bullet points, and it's a good description. So I think that you could, kind of model after that. What else? Let's see. Okay, and then I do recommend that you can check out my sales phrases guide, again, in the Etsy shop. And I also have a video about boosting buyer confidence. And so that might be something that you might want to consult as well as you're making this template. For your solds, let's go check them out, because I do recommend to everyone, let your solds be your guide. And so I'm able to look at it objectively. Obviously, you are partial. It is your closet. You're in it every day. But sometimes you think, oh, I'm selling things for blah, blah, blah. But then when you look, you forget about all the things that you sold for less than blah, blah, blah. Or you think, oh, I've sold so many Eileen Fisher tops. And then when you go and look, you're like, actually, no, I haven't sold that many Eileen. You're in it every day. Sometimes it's hard to see. So if you can go through, look at what's selling. Free People top, tangerine jacket, Lululemon shorts, Alice and Olivia dress. Okay, so those are things that are either a popular brand or like a jacket, more substantial of an item, dress, more substantial of an item. Now this White House Black Market top, I wonder if anyone bundled that or if they just bought that on their own, because that would be one of the things where I'm like, do you really need this White House Black Market top in your store? Not that I love selling White House Black Market, but it's just a plain white top. So how much could you possibly get for that? Here you've got cachet top, Lululemon, American Eagle. American Eagle jeans can always do great. Cut from the cloth, cabbie, American Eagle, Anthropologie. So the things that you're selling are the things that should be in your store. But there's a lot of things in your store that are not the things that are selling. And so that's what I want you to look at, and let your solds be your guide on the kinds of things that are selling. And for what prices. American Eagle shorts, $8. Free People shorts, $11. Delia's jacket, $11. But then you have the Velvet Graham and Spencer dress, $30. So, take a look and see, what do you want to sell more of? What did you like selling? What sold quickly for you? And that's the kind of stuff you should keep putting in your closet. And the stuff that's not, stop putting it in your closet, because it's taking time and money away from you doing the other things. Let's see. Last shared. Oh, I did want to check this because, let's see, when I did your closet summary earlier, you hadn't shared in 14 hours. Now this one says 27 minutes ago. So I wonder, were you sharing or did you list it? Let's see. So let's see. So you might have just listed these things or relisted or whatever, because they're showing up as the just in, and I think that might have been different than what I looked at before. I can't remember exactly. No, I think this was where it was left at before, was this National League you know, pink white pirates t-shirts. So you must have maybe relisted or listed a bunch of things perhaps. So let's just scroll down and see, because this is important. Let's go down here. Updated an hour ago. Okay, so good. So you did recently share, so that's good. But when I looked at this, and I say this morning, but so I'm Eastern time, maybe it was around 11 or 12 in the morning / afternoon, it said that you hadn't shared for 14 hours. So that meant that you hadn't shared the whole morning and then even into early of the evening of last night. Again, I don't know where you are in the country, so that could have, some play into if you're like out in California. But so sharing is critical. Like as much as I talk about keywords and listing description and buyer confidence and photos, all of these variables play in. But I have a video coming up this week that's like my Poshmark formula for like how to really make daily sales. What are the things that you need to be paying attention to? And it's really simple and it's like 2 things. And so this is part of all of that. So do check in on that video. I don't know if this Poshmark closet review will air on my channel before that video or not, but you'll see it later. And so I think that for you, that might be a good video to watch. Okay, I didn't see any unanswered questions on your listings, so that's good. I always just mention to be, mindful of answering questions in a timely manner and with professionalism. Consider making a template, which I give you a link to the video that I did about templates. So I think that can be important. And then I correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I saw a bundle discount on your closet. So I would highly recommend a bundle discount. So I offer 20% off of 2 items. You'd be surprised how many times people just go in, they like a few things, they kind of put things in and out of a bundle, and then all of a sudden you're going to get a notification that they bought 2 things. Bing, bang, boom, without you having to do anything. I didn't have to send any offers. I didn't have to accept any offers. I didn't have to do anything. They just took the 20%, bought in the middle of the night or whatever, and you got a sale. So do keep that in mind. Don't think you always have to be the one to send out offers or do something to generate a sale. If you give them all the tools, they may just make a sale without you, and that's great. So down to my final impressions. So I put overall your closet is in good shape. I think you're doing a lot of things right. So please, be happy about this. Oh, I wrote, so be pleased with yourself. I mean, be pleased. Be pleased with yourself about this. There are some areas for improvement, and then it's just doing different things in certain areas where you can level up, and that will help increase your sales. So let's talk about it. So descriptions, I think, is where you should focus your attention. I thought your photos looked fine. I thought a lot of things in general were good. I think descriptions is where you can really get the most value and make the biggest impact in those keywords and how you word your description, and including measurements, and in giving the person every reason to buy and no reasons not to buy. So really try to make a template and have a consistent flow that hits on all these major things, and then replicate it on everything. Descriptions do serve multiple purposes. It's not just about search, it's also about making them feel good about buying from you. So that's important. Measurements, I said, I would focus next on sourcing and sales generating activities if your sales are not where you want them to be. So let's go over it. Sharing, listing, relisting, revising, sending offers to likers, doing closet clear out, offering a shipping discount on items. All of these things can each play into it. And so if you have a system and you're managing all of it, then it shouldn't be too hard. If you can say, I'm a person that prices things so that I can send out at least 30% offers, you know that. I am a person that prices my items so that I can have a free shipping on items over $50, great. I set up my listing this way. I set up my photos this way. And once you get all these systems going that are good and they're working for you, your sales will increase over time. And then you can focus on just getting better, finding better things. You won't have to worry so much about, are my photos good? Is my description right? Stuff like that. Stepping up your sourcing game by only putting items of certain criteria can give you a bigger bang for your buck and for the work that you put in. So if you're going to go to the thrift store and spend $3, spend it on something that's going to bring you in more money than something that's going to bring you in $15. Spend it on a jacket, spend it on a swim item, spend it on a cashmere sweater if you can find one, like those kinds of things. And then try some new tactics. Buy a reseller box from someone like me. Use Jomar and get new tags items in every once in a while. You don't have to source everything that way, but you can use it as one tool in your toolbox. So maybe once a month you order from Jomar. And if you do, I should have made a sign for that, but I didn't think of it. You can use my 10% off code down below. But you can use it to supplement. And so once a month, you can get something from Jomar that's all new with tags liquidation. That'd be great for your closet. And then you can keep thrifting. And that also helps keep your pricing, your COGS at a decent level. But so in general, I thought you're on the right track. I can tell that you're trying. I can tell that you're trying to be a professional seller. I see that you're doing the right things. Your photos look good. Now we have to just kind of tweak and level up in a few areas. And then the rest is like, I said it in another one, like it's a numbers game, really. So Gina, I really appreciate you purchasing the closet review. Everyone that's watching, I appreciate you watching. Leave your comments down below with any questions you have. If you want to go ahead and get your own, you can get it at etsy.com/shop/Rebecca the reseller, and go ahead and subscribe so we can hang out again. And Gina, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck. Take care. Bye.